4 years. Now, let's say this finance department is going to be forecasting the next year data. Okay, so this finance department is expecting next year how much revenue has to generate by this company. Okay, so how much sales I need to generate next future, I can say. So rather than saying entire year, within this year, but the next quarter, how much sales should we expect? But the next month, how much sales should we expect? Next week, how much sales we can expect? So that much of a granular level, these finance people, head of finance people will be analyzing. Okay. Now here, what I meant to say here, as a head of finance, these people are going to be expecting, based on the actuals, they're going to be expecting future year sales. They're going to be forecasting the next future. Let's say in 2021, the sales volume is, let's say, 100 millions. In 2022, 110. I'm going to be giving you some random numbers to things are going to be very easy. Okay, and then 20 in 2024. Now, based on this data, you are going to be expecting how much sales should we expect in 2024. So can we say 130? The basic assumption, right? The basic 10% growth percentage. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Now imagine, along with this 2024 forecasting, so you guys are going to be expecting 2025 year as well. So it's forecasting is not only restricted to one particular year. You can do forecasting next 50 years with the help of this Anaplan. Okay. Now, as part of your forecasting in 2025, you can expect 140 millions of the sales, right? Now, so usually if you go with the 10% growth, so in 2025, you will be receiving 140 millions, right? Now, what the company's management is doing in 2024, after completion of this 2024, they are doing advertisements. They are doing huge advertisements. So because of huge advertisements, the company's products demand is increases. Okay. So the usage of these products are increases. So this particular 2025 year, as a head of finance, these people are setting up a target in 2025 because we made so much of advertisement expenses this particular year. Our revenue, not 140, our revenue will become, let's say, 180. Okay. So usually if you go with the regular 10% growth, the 2025 sales are 140, right? But if they go with the aggressive manner, let's say by doing this advertisement expenses, they are expecting 180, right? Now, if you achieve this 180 worth of sales, then how much worth of products you need to sell? Okay. So as a finance head of the finance, these people have decided in 2024 how much revenue should we expect. In 2025, how much revenue should we expect? So to receive this 180 worth of sales, how much budget should I assign? Right. So here you can think, you can very much familiar with these words, forecasting and budgeting. Okay, so Anaplan, the name itself, analysis and planning, right? So what you are going to be analyzing, what you are going to be planning. So you are going to be analyzing the past data. So based on your past data analysis, you are going to be expecting next future. You are going to be planning next future. Okay, so this application will help you analyzing past data and forecasting the future data. Okay, so but as part of this forecasting of future, so usually these people are going to be expecting 140 millions, but after doing this expenses, advertisement expenses, they're expecting 180, right? Now the same thing, this is going to be sales, then the quantity will become is, let's say, to get this 100 millions worth of sales, the quantity of the products has to sold, let's say, 10 millions. So after selling this 10 millions quantity, The company is able to generate 100 millions revenue. Now here it is going to be 11, it's going to be 12, it's going to be 13. Usually it should be a 14, but after making these advertisement expenses, they have to produce 18, right? Now the question here is, so they're expecting more than as part of regular forecasting. So the regular forecasting is 140, but they're expecting 180. So now immediately what the sales department is doing, so after assigning this target of this 180, the sales department come into the picture. Okay, so what the sales department is doing, so usually we have to sell this, and then we have to sell 14 million products to get this 140 worth of revenue. But this particular year, you are asking me to get a revenue of 180 million, which is 18 million products. Now, what this head of sales is doing, let me check from my end. So does this products are really have a demand in the market or not? So if this products is having a demand in the market, then I need to check with my area-wise sales manager. So all of this area-wise sales manager are able to sell these many quantity of the products in the market or not. So this sales department has to thoroughly check with this, or the people have to able to sell all these products or not. So they need to plan area-wise sales. Okay, they need to plan each and every sales manager how much target the people have to assign for each and every area-wise. Okay, so again, there is a planning is needed here for the sales department. What kind of a planning is this? They need to assign the targets for the area-wise sales manager, and also they need to plan all of this demand, or for all these products is really have a demand in the market or not. They will have some basic idea, because these are the key people to sell these products in the market. They will be understand some kind of a demand, or all these products is having a really demand in the market or not. Okay, once the sales department is says that, okay, fine, these products are really have a demand in the market. Now we are able to sell this 18 million quantity of the products, so that we will be achieving this 180 millions of revenue. So what the sales department says, they says that, so whatever the target which has been set up this finance department, this sales department has been agreed. Okay. Now once the sales department has been agreed, then the next department will come to the picture. Which department? That is going to be our supply chain. So what the supply chain department is doing, guys? So what are the major roles and responsibilities of your supply chain? So basically, this supply chain is dividing into two parts, two sub departments, I can say. One is demand management, and the other one is inventory management. Okay. Okay. So now what exactly this demand management department is doing? Now the supply chain department is having a setup with the 18 million quantity. Now, first thing is, as a supply chain consultant or as a supply chain analyst, so every year these are the people who have who is maintaining the customer wise details, customer account details. So based on the customer account details, they will go and conduct the random sample. I mean, so they will ask you some random dealers. So how many products you want? So does these products are really have a demand in the market? Again, this supply chain department is also conducting a research. Okay. So as part of their research, they concluded that, so these products are really having a demand in the market. Okay, fine. So there is a really having a demand. So demand management people says that, okay, fine, demand is there. Now the data is passed on to inventory management. Okay. So as part of this inventory management, these are the key people. They have to thoroughly check with availability of the raw material. Okay. So usually they are maintaining with the preparation of or manufacturing of this 14 million quantity. But suddenly this finance department have assigning the target of 18 million quantity. So this inventory management team have to check with them. So to manufacture this 18 million quantity, how much raw materials are available. So whatever the raw materials which we are maintaining so far, all these raw materials are sufficient to produce this 18 million quantity. Naresh. So what the inventory management is doing? So inventory management is doing availability of raw materials. So how much raw materials are required to produce this 18 million quantity? So what is the scenario if the raw materials are not available? What you guys are doing, guys? So if the raw materials are not available, then what you people are doing? So usually as part of this inventory management, so to procure these raw materials, there is some kind of a transportation methodologies, right? There is some kind of a transportation methodologies. So basically the transportations are by road. So the raw materials are getting through by road or by train or by water or air. So what does it mean? These different kinds of transportation methodologies. So if you go with the road, let's say if you ordering your raw materials, so if you are getting these raw materials by road, let's say for example you will be receiving 2 days. Okay, so if you go with the train, maybe you will be receiving 3 days. So if you go with the water, maybe you will be receiving 6 days. If you go with the air, you will be receiving within 1 day, right? Now just observe carefully here. So there is a shortage of raw material. Okay, so usually on regular basis they are following this maybe a road basis. On road basis they are going to be ordering this raw materials they are going to be ordering. So next 2 days this inventory or the raw materials has been came into this manufacturing warehouse, manufacturing plant. Once these raw materials are being reached to plant, they started doing production. But unfortunately, so for this particular year, that raw materials are not available. So if you go with the road, that will be taking 2 days. If you go with the train, that will be taking 3 days. If you go with the water, that will be taking 6 days. Now, which methodology will be giving best opportunity to get the raw materials within short span of time? So they will go with the air. So usually they will go with the road basis. But now because of this additional procurement of products, they need to go with the air basis. Now the thing is in real time, all this planning will be automated. Okay, all this planning will be automated. How this planning will be automated? Let's say, so if you go with the example, let's say for example, upcoming festival is Valentine's Day, right? So Valentine's Day, so most of the products are, which products are mostly sell, guys? So mostly dairy milk chocolates. Maybe it's not only for the dairy milk, any chocolates. So for this particular festival, these products are going to be sell huge. Now for this, so as a manufacturer, we need to keep in mind. So upcoming festival is here Valentine's Day. For this Valentine's Day, so these many products are sold. So how they do know? Based on the past data. Let's say last year Valentine's Day, let's say 10,000 chocolates were sold. Before that year, 8,000 were sold. Now this year we can expect 14,000 chocolates. So before that, each and every dealer which are associated with the chocolates companies, they will try to ordering the number of chocolates, right? Now let's say the next week is the Valentine's Day. Let's say next week. Now, so this company have prepared or manufactured the 14,000 quantity. But unfortunately, this 14,000 quantity has completed. So because of the demand in the market, because of the new dealers is coming to you and asking you to get these products. So there is one more week is time, but at this point of time, you don't have a products. Now you need to start manufacturing of these products, right? So if you want to start this manufacturing at this point of time, so your basic transportation methodologies to get this inventory, the basic transportation methodology is road. So if you're ordering your raw materials today, you will be receiving raw materials and day after tomorrow, right? So day after tomorrow, you will be receiving raw materials and then you can start the production. So in between this time, your festival is completed, right? So that is the problem for this inventory planning. So if you are able to manufacture these many chocolates, you have to properly planning as many products has been sold. Then you have to plan before completion of, before out of stock of these products, you have to manufacture the products and then you can very well deliver these products to the clients. You can very well deliver these products to the dealers, right? So guys, are you following what I'm trying to say? Since you guys are supply chain people, what exactly you guys are doing this is the process you guys are doing or something else?
Yes, sir. We can understand.
Okay. So usually ఏం చేస్తారంటే, I think you are from Hyderabad, right? Telugu is okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, sir.
ఓకే. సో జనరల్గా ఏం చేస్తారంటే సప్లై చైన్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లోకి వచ్చేసరికి ఇన్వెంటరీ అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ రా మెటీరియల్స్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చేసరికి, సో పండగల సీజన్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చేటప్పటికి అవుట్ ఆఫ్ స్టాక్ ఉండకూడదు. సో మీరు ఒకసారి డిమార్ట్కి వెళ్ళినా, ఒకసారి వైన్ షాప్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళినా అవుట్ ఆఫ్ స్టాక్ ఉంటాయి. అంటే అవుట్ ఆఫ్ స్టాక్ కాకుండా ప్రొడక్ట్స్ని పంపించేసేయాలి మనం. అలా పంపించాలంటే సో ఎప్పుడు ఏ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ అయిపోతాయో మనకి తెలియదు కదా. అంటే ఇంత బల్క్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ మనం చేస్తున్నప్పుడు, సో ఏ డీలర్కి ఎంత క్వాంటిటీ ఇస్తున్నామో, ఏ డీలర్ ఎంత అమౌంట్ పే చేస్తున్నారు, ఇవన్నీ మనం మాన్యువల్గా చూసుకోవడం కష్టం కాబట్టి మనకు ఒక అలర్ట్ వచ్చేసేయాలి. అవుట్ ఆఫ్ స్టాక్, సేఫ్టీ స్టాక్ అని ఒకటి పెట్టుకుంటాం. సో ఎస్పెషల్లీ సప్లై చైన్లో సో మినిమం సేఫ్టీ స్టాక్ ఎంత? లెట్స్ సే సేఫ్టీ స్టాక్ 10,000 అని చెప్పాం. ఓకే. సో ఈ సేఫ్టీ స్టాక్ కన్నా తగ్గింది అంటే దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు స్టార్ట్ ప్రొడక్షన్. ఓకే. సో ఈ ఆర్డర్ పెట్టిన వెంటనే ఈ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ సేల్ అయిపోయిన వెంటనే సేఫ్టీ స్టాక్ వస్తుంది. సేఫ్టీ స్టాక్ కన్నా తక్కువ ఇంకా, దట్ ఈస్ మినిమం స్టాక్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు మెయింటైన్. సో ఈ మినిమం స్టాక్ కన్నా మీకు ఈ పర్టికులర్ క్వాంటిటీ తగ్గిపోయిందంటే యు ఆర్ ఇన్ టు ది డేంజరస్ జోన్, బికాస్ దర్ ఇస్ నో అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రొడక్ట్స్ ఇన్ ద మార్కెట్. సో మార్కెట్లో మీ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ అవైలబుల్ లేవంటే సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ యు ఆర్ లూజింగ్ యువర్ డీలర్స్, యు ఆర్ లూజింగ్ యువర్ కస్టమర్స్, రైట్? సో ఈ మెకానిజం మొత్తం కూడా మీకు ఎలా ఉండాలంటే ఆటోమేట్ అయి ఉండాలి. సో ఆ విధంగా ఆటోమేషన్ అవ్వాలంటే యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ఏ ప్రాపర్ ప్లానింగ్. సో దట్ ప్రాపర్ ప్లానింగ్ విల్ బి మేడ్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ Anaplan అప్లికేషన్. ఓకే. సో సింపుల్ మినిమం స్టాక్ ఎంతో పెట్టారో ఆ మినిమం స్టాక్ కన్నా తగ్గింది అంటే సో ఆటోమేటిక్గా ట్రిగర్ అవుతుంది. అక్కడ ఏమవుతుందంటే సో ప్రొడక్షన్ ఈస్ నీడెడ్, సో మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ద ప్రొడక్ట్స్ ఈస్ నీడెడ్. సో వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అ ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ మెథడాలజీ యూ షుడ్ ఫాలో? సో యూజువల్లీ ద ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ మెథడాలజీ is road. So if you go with the road, again that will be delayed. So you have to go and change this air basis so that your raw materials will be procuring very fast, and then you can start production and deliver these products to the customers, right? So this kind of a mechanism, this kind of a planning system will be implemented within this Anaplan. Okay. So mostly this Anaplan is very much helpful to the supply chain analyst, those who wants to grow their career into this supply chain. So Anaplan will be the best option. I mean, it's not only for the Anaplan, we have so many applications are there in the market. Anaplan is one of them. I will tell you why you should choose only Anaplan, why you should not choose for the others. Okay, I will tell you differences between Anaplan and other applications as well. Okay, now let's come back to here. So this supply chain department is stating that, okay, fine, even though we don't have a sufficient raw materials, we can procure with the help of air bases, then we can produce this 18 million quantity. Okay, we can produce this 18 million quantity. Now again, this supply chain department is having one more problem. So the problem is warehouse capacity. So usually the warehouse capacity is 14 million quantity of the products, but now this time you have to store 18 million quantity. How you are going to be managing this warehouse? So again, this is the biggest problem. They need to properly planning this warehouse management so that these products, whatever the products which has been manufactured, so immediately they will send to this market, they will send to these distributors. So in that way, they are going to be planning and effectively utilization of this warehouse. Okay. So, and finally, the supply chain department is concluded that then we can go to produce this 18 million quantity, and we have a warehouse capacity as well. Now, once this supply chain department is given the green signal to produce this 18 million quantity, then next department, which is the next department. The next department is the production department. So these are the production people have to produce this 18 million quantity. So the actual demand of this product is in 2025 is going to be 14 million quantity. So to produce this 14 million quantity, the manpower is, let's say, 500 people. Okay, but now this particular year, they are getting this target of to produce the 18 million quantity. So to produce this 18 million quantity, these people are sufficient enough to produce this 18 million quantity? Obviously no, right? So what this production head is doing, so simple, they will send an email to the human resource department head stating that, so we need additional 50 people. Okay, we need additional 50 people. to produce the 18 million quantity. Okay. So now what this HR people is doing, as you know very well, what HR people is doing. Simple, they will hire the additional 50 people. They're going to be hand over to this production department, and the production department is start to manufacturing these 18 million quantity products. Right now, I'm going to be summarizing what exactly is doing here. So first, the finance department is set up with the target for the company level. And then to achieve this target, the sales department is doing some kind of a basic demand analysis and setting with the sales planning to their area-wise sales manager. Once the sales manager is come up with the stating that we can good to go and sell this 18 million quantity, and the supply chain department is doing their basic demand planning and inventory management, and then production department will be asking you to provide some additional people, and then HR department will provide you the details of additional employees so that the production has been started, right? Now here, if you observe here, each and every department has been interconnected, right? Each and every department has been interconnected. How it has been interconnected? So where it has been started? The first connection is finance department. So finance department లో ఫస్ట్ మీకు ఇక్కడ కనెక్షన్ ఇచ్చారు. ఇక్కడ ఏమని ఇచ్చారు? టార్గెట్ సెట్ చేశారు. సో నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ నాకు ఇంత సేల్స్ రావాలని చెప్పేసి ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఫైనాన్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ కనెక్షన్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేశారు. సో రెవెన్యూ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ చేశారు. సో వన్స్ ద రెవెన్యూ హ్యాస్ బీన్ సెటప్, దెన్ ఆల్ దిస్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ వర్కింగ్, right? Now the question here is, you know very well, each and every department has been connected. So each and every department is having their own planning system, right? Each and every department is having their own planning system. Let's say to forecast this 118 revenue, so what kind of a application will help us to planning this data? How we are going to forecasting this data? So even you can apply this Excel macros. So even if you go with Excel macros, that will help you to get this forecasting, right? And even if you go with the Power BI, the Power BI will also give you some this kind of a basic forecasting. If you go with the one stream, let's say the streams are going to be, one stream is one of the application, the way how we have a Anaplan. One stream is also one kind of a EPM tool, and IBM Cognos TM1. IBM Cognos TM1. Okay, so these are going to be there some let's say Planafin. So these are going to be all EPM applications, and also we have a board. So there are some kind of EPM applications are there. Anaplan is among one of them. Okay, now let's say to forecast this 118 worth of 118 million revenue, this particular department is using, let's say, Excel, advanced version of Excel, or else you can say Power Apps. Okay, now for the sales planning, this sales department is using, as part of this sales planning, the sales department is using, let's say, OneStream. Okay, and supply chain, guys, do you know any supply chain applications? Yes, no?
No, sir.
Okay, now let's say as part of the supply chain, you have this Anaplan. Okay, now as part of this production, you have, let's say, Planafin, or else Cognos TM1. Okay, now for this human resources, you have a Workday. Have you heard about this Workday? Yes, no? Workday gurinchi
No,
తెలియదా?
no. No,
Okay.
sir.
So all these are going to be different applications. Okay, so what I mean to say here, so each and every department is having a planning system. Okay, so they are doing their planning with the help of some applications. Okay, so they are doing their planning with the help of some applications. So now the question here is, now you are the CEO of the company. You are the CEO of the company. So one fine day, CEO will comes to you and asking you, hey, can you please let me know about the status of this target? Okay, they're going to be asking you the status of this target. Now what the finance department head is doing, as a chief financial officer, he is going to be sending an email to the CEO stating that we have been set up the target of 118 million revenue. What this sales department is doing, sales department is also sending a reply or sending their planning system to the CEO stating that we can good to go to sell this 18 million quantity so that we can achieve this 118 million revenue. And similarly, supply chain. This supply chain department head also has to tell about this planning, about this demand planning, about their inventory management planning. So similarly, production department and similarly HR department. Now you just understand here how much time it will be taking to get all this data to the CEO. సో ఇక్కడ ఉన్న ఈ పర్టికులర్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ హెడ్ దగ్గర ఉన్న డేటా మొత్తము సిఇఓ దగ్గరకు వచ్చి సిఇఓ డెసిషన్ తీసుకోవాలంటే టైం పడుతుంది. విల్ ఇట్ కమ్ విత్ ఇన్ ఎ డే?
No, sir.
So usually it will be taking at least 1 week time, because each and every department has to consolidate and send them to the CEO. So it will be taking at least 1 week time, right? Why it has been taking 1 week? Because each department is using one planning system, one planning application. So finance department is using a Power BI, and sales department is using OneStream, supply chain is using Anaplan, and production is using TM1, HR is using Workday, right? Since this data is located in different applications, the data inflow and outflow cannot be possible. Okay, the data inflow and outflow cannot be possible. Why the data cannot be possible, guys? Because let's say if you go with the TM1 and Workday, so maybe TM1 programming language is different, Workday programming language is different. So the data inflow and outflow between these two is not possible because the programming language is different, right? Now, if you apply any one of the application, for all the departments, so that all this data has been located in only one application, simple, the CEO will come and access this application dashboard, so that the CEO will be getting this data within a time. So maybe within a day. So let's say if they are going to be using the planning system, let's say that let's go with the OneStream. So OneStream is more specifically using for sales planning. It's not supporting with the finance planning. Okay. And similarly, if you go with the TM1 will applicable for all kind of a plannings, but there is so many problems are there in the TM1. So advanced version of TM1 is the Anaplan. Okay. సో మీరు TM1 కనుక అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్కి ప్లానింగ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ TM1 కనుక యూజ్ చేశారంటే then it's okay, fine. But there is so many problems are there for developing this TM1. And if you go with the Workday is using for only human resource planning. Okay. So no software will provide you a proper planning system for all the departments. Okay. So proper planning system అనేది ఏ ఒక్క అప్లికేషన్ కూడా అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్కి ఇవ్వదు. ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి అన్ని డ్రాబ్యాక్స్ ని కలుపుకొని Anaplan came into the market. Okay. So Anaplan will help us to plan the each and every department level. Okay. So Anaplan will help you for the planning of each and every department. Okay. Now finance department, as part of this financial planning and analysis, FP&A. So as part of this financial planning and analysis, if you go with this Anaplan, now you can very well show all these $118 million under this Anaplan dashboard, right? And similarly, sales department dashboard, similarly, supply chain department dashboard, HR department dashboard. Since you are building all these planning systems into one particular application, which is Anaplan, now all these details are available in one particular dashboard. Now, as a CEO, you just come and access this particular dashboard so that you will be understanding each and every department level status. So now the decision making is not going to be taking too much of time. So earlier it will be taking 1 week. Now it will be taking within a day, within a hours. So as long as all these people are updated their data in the dashboard, simple, the CEO is having access. You just open the dashboard, then you can see the data and have a decision making. Clear, guys? Do you have any confusion on this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to convey you. So if you adopting this Anaplan, so the planning will be very easy for each and every department level. So once the planning is easier, then the decision making is very easy. Then the decision making is faster. So this is the biggest advantage of Anaplan, and this is the beauty of Anaplan. So almost all Europe companies all clean sheep to getting to this Anaplan. సో యూరోప్ రీజన్ మొత్తం అన్ని కంపెనీస్ కూడా Anaplanకి స్విచ్ అయిపోయినాయి. So now it has been entering into this Asian market. Now within Asia, almost all 70 to 80% of the companies have been switching into this Anaplan. So that is the reason Anaplan is having a more demand in the market. Okay, Anaplan is having a more demand in the market. So someone is saying, so this application is good and this application is good. How this application is doing good? సో ఎందుకు ఈ పర్టికులర్ టూల్ కిందకి ఇంత డిమాండ్ ఉంది, సేల్స్ ఫోర్స్ అనే అప్లికేషన్ కిందకి అంత డిమాండ్ ఉంది, .NET అనే అప్లికేషన్ కిందకి అంత డిమాండ్ ఉంది. సో అందరు చెప్తారు మార్కెట్ పెరిగింది, మార్కెట్కి ఎక్కువ మార్కెట్ బాగుంది, అందుకనే ఈ పర్టికులర్ అప్లికేషన్స్కి డిమాండ్ వచ్చింది. నో, దట్స్ నాట్ ద కరెక్ట్ రీజన్. దట్ రీజన్ ఈస్ how many customers are using this, how well customers are utilizing these applications. So based on that application, based on the customer utilization, this particular applications demand is increases. ఎందుకు Anaplanకి ఇంత డిమాండ్ వచ్చిందంటే కనెక్టెడ్ ప్లానింగ్ అనే బ్యూటిఫుల్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంది కాబట్టి, సో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లెవెల్లో ప్లానింగ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు కాబట్టి, సో ప్లానింగ్ అనేది అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్కి కలిపి ఒకే అప్లికేషన్ ఉంటే డేటా ఇన్ఫ్లో అండ్ అవుట్ఫ్లో అనేది ఒకే అప్లికేషన్లో ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి డేటా యాక్సెస్ అనేది వెరీ ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి, సో ఈ Anaplan అప్లికేషన్కి డిమాండ్ ఇంతగా వచ్చింది. ఓకే
Yes, sir.
ఓకే, నౌ let's go back to our, so it will be controlling production and profitability. How this Anaplan is going to be controlling the production. Now let's say if you observe, if you go with the DMart or if you go with any specific shops, so if you observe the manufacturing date of the product, so festival seasons you can observe very latest manufacturing date. Okay, so if you go with the festival season, so the chocolates manufacturing date is very nearest one, I mean last 2 weeks. Okay, so other than this festival seasons, if you go and check this product's manufacturing date, maybe that will be manufactured before 1 month. Okay, so how these people are deciding this production controlling? So they are going to be keeping their mind demand of the product. So upcoming festival is there, so we need to produce more products and deliver these products to the dealers or customers. So they are going to be doing the proper planning so that they will be controlling the production. Let's say some of the products doesn't have a demand, even though that is a festival season. Let's say if you go with umbrella sales are more effective in rainy season. So when it comes to winter season and summer season, umbrellas productions are almost zero, right? So based on the seasonality, based on the product demand, they will be producing the product, so that cost will be reduces, so that the profitability will be increases. Okay, so the faster decision making as a CEO, so all the departmental data is located in one particular dashboard. The decision making is very easy, and the planning and modeling, so planning is needed at any stage. So if there is a business, the proper planning is needed. So on what basis you are going to be planning? So based on the past data. So if you are going to be doing a planning, so which applications will help us? Anaplan or EPM tools will help us for the planning. So again, you might be asking a question, hey Gopi, we have these many applications, why I should go with the only Anaplan? Why I should not go with the OneStream? Okay, so the answer is Anaplan is more flexible. So rather than saying more flexible, so the major aim of the Anaplan management, so I can say objective, I can say Anaplan vision. Okay, Anaplan company's vision is to make easier of the planning system for each and every person or for each and every company, right? Now let's say if you go with the TM1, so TM1 is including with the so much of coding is involving. Okay, TM1 is having so much of coding. So can, as a MBA guy, do you know coding part? I mean Java developing script or .NET developing script, do you know? No, right?
No,
So,
sir.
no, right? So if you want to develop this planning system with the help of TM1, so as a MBA graduates or as a BCom graduates is not eligible, right? So some skilled people are required to do their planning system. So if you go with the Anaplan, there is no that much of a skilled people are required. So if you know some kind of some functional knowledge, let's say you guys are specialized in a supply chain, so you can very well develop this application. Okay, you can very well utilizing this application without having any coding knowledge. So if you go with the one stream is also having some kind of a basic coding, and also this one stream will not support to you to do the planning for all the departments. So that is the reason you can go with the Anaplan. So the major aim of the Anaplan is the planning make easier to everyone. So everyone can do their planning on their own. So without depending on any technology people. So this is also one of the major important reason why Anaplan is having a more demand. Okay.
Okay.
So these are going to be major key features. Because of these key features, most of the companies are going to be switching into Anaplan. So again, so you might ask a question, why I should learn this Anaplan? So learning Anaplan allows you to create and maintain data models. As I told you, so each and every person can be able to create the Anaplan models, right? So as a individuals, you can develop your own planning system. Even if you have a small supermarket, you can do your planning for your supermarket with the help of Anaplan. Okay, so without wastage of I can say products. So even if you observe when DMart, once you enter into the DMart, there is some kind of a discount channels, right? So let's say if you go with the Sanatna DMart, there is a 10% on so and so rice bag. And if you go with the Miyapur DMart, the same rice bag is available with the 10% discount. How this discount is applicable across all DMart markets, all DMart locations. Product is same, locations are different, but discount is same. How it will be possible, right? So that will be possible only on the basis of manufacturing date. So the manufacturing date is maintained with the system. So as long as the manufacturing date is going long, then they are going to be allocating the discounting percentage. Okay. So again, as far as your salaries and job is the concern, on an average, Anaplan professionals are getting $126. Okay, so $126,000. So in Indian terminology, as a fresher, you will be getting at least minimum package is 7.5. Okay, at least by die-hard situation, you can get 7 lakhs per annum. Okay, so nowadays most of the small companies are hiring even freshers as well, but I am not giving you any guarantee for this. But yeah, so most of the companies are looking for the freshers as well. Since this application is came into the market somewhere around in 2019, so nowadays most of the companies are switching into this Anaplan. The availability of the skilled people is not that much of availability. So that's the reason most of the companies are hiring freshers and then they are going to be training them. Okay. So as far as the salary is the concern, you might be getting at least minimum 7 lakhs per annum as per Indian currency. Okay, now these are going to be this diagram. At this point of time, you may not be understanding well, but once you learning this particular application, what kind of roles and responsibilities you need to do, you need to perform in your job. So as a model builder, your responsibilities are you need to create a workspace first. So you need to modify some kind of adjustments for this workspace. Workspace is nothing but some kind of a private place which has been provided by the Anaplan. So Anaplan is a cloud-based platform, right? So in a cloud, so whatever the plan which you are setting up, so based on your plan, so you will be receiving 90 GB workspace size or 120 GB workspace size or 750 GB workspace size. So based on your plan, they will be allocating you some space within a cloud. Now you need to manage that workspace. The place is called as your workspace. As a model builder, you need to manage that workspace size. Okay. Once you adopting this Anaplan, then you need to create a model. So model is nothing but a business use case. So you might ask a question, what do you mean by business use case? Business use case is nothing but it's one kind of a problem statement. It's one kind of a problem. Earlier, the client is facing with this problem. Now, Anaplan came into the market, or Anaplan is approaching to you to resolving that problem. Okay, to resolving that problem, the terminology is model. Okay, we can call them as a model. Now, as a model builder, you need to create a business use case for the client. Okay, once you create a model, so within a model, you need to create a different dimensions. We will be understanding in going for what kind of dimensions we need to create, what kind of a list you need to create, what kind of a modules you need to create. So all these terminologies you might be getting wondering at this point of time. So I am not going to be explaining you any of this particular terminology over here. So if I'm keep on talking about this, you might be getting boring, or you might be getting as testing. Okay. So now, so as a model builder, you are responsible to create your dashboards, to manage the workspace, to create the different modules. Okay. Now, oops. Okay. Now this is the way of your certification program, guys. So this certification is very helpful to you. Without having your certification, no one is allowing you to call for the interview. Okay. So especially for the freshers, this is very helpful to you. Once you complete this level 1, level 2, Anaplan way and Anaplan certified model builder, then you are eligible to attend the interviews. Okay, so don't worry, I will help you to clear this level 1 certification, level 2 certification, Anaplan way, as well as the Anaplan certified model builder. Okay. Now, don't worry, you are at the right place. You might ask a question. Now I am going to be learning this Anaplan. What is my future? So can I believe this application? Yes, you can believe this application. On what basis you guys are believing this application? You know, big 4 companies, right? So Deloitte, PwC, Accenture. So all these are going to be big 4 companies. So all these big 4 companies are strategic partners for the Anaplan. Okay, all these big 4 companies are strategic partners for the these big 4 companies. Okay, so apart from these big 4 companies, we have a EY, we have a Wipro, we have a Genpact. All these companies are silver partners. So when I say partner, so you can think of whatever the projects which is getting to this particular Anaplan. So 80% of the projects has to deliver, has to give into strategic partners, global strategic partners. So 30% of the projects has to give to silver partners. Okay, there is some kind of variation, maybe 70 to 30 or 80 to 20, or there is some variation on this strategic partner to silver partner and strategic partners to gold partners. Okay, so don't worry, the future is there for this application. So you are the safe hands, don't worry. And as we discussed about this average industry, as per industry statistics, your average salary is 7 lakhs per annum. Okay. Now, who is going to be learning this Anaplan? So Anaplan professionals wishing to enhance their skills further. So those who is currently working, if they want to enhance their skills, they can learn this Anaplan, right? And any graduation, post graduates who is interested in this domain, then these people can learn this Anaplan, right? Now, what are the prerequisites for this Anaplan course? Now, don't go to this particular technical terminologies here. If you know Excel, even within Excel, if you know Excel is having a rows and columns, if you know this Excel basic rows and columns is having, then you are eligible to learn this Anaplan. So even if you don't know Excel, Excel is having a rows and columns. If you don't know something like this, then you are not eligible. What I mean to say, Excel rows and columns ఉంటాయని word మీకు తెలిస్తే, then you are eligible to go this course. Otherwise, you are not eligible. తెలుసు కదా మీకు Excel rows and columns ఉంటాయని తెలుసు కదా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, what you will be learning in this Anaplan training? So again, this is the you can think of this the course content. So one thing I can tell you over here, instead of telling you what you guys are learning this, so everyone is providing you this kind of a training, right? So if you go with any other institute, they're also providing the same content. But what makes you the difference, right? So what's the major difference between me and the others? So I was being part of 4.5 years of experience into this Anaplan. I was been conducting, I was being a part of 50 plus interview panels. 50 plus interviews I was been taking. So as per my interview experience, I'm telling you, so most of the institute people are not aware about the requirements understanding the requirement. So understanding the requirement, people can understand what the client is asking. What's the major requirement from the client? So we can call them as a functional requirement. So let's say, for example, as a chief financial officer of the company, I want to know the profit and loss report I want to know the profit and loss report on monthly basis for the different locations. This is the requirement from the client. Now you need to develop this application, or you need to show this data within Anaplan by creating some dashboards. Now what the interviewer is asking you, So how can you convert this functional requirement into a technical requirement? That is the question. But no one cannot explains you about this conversion of this functional requirement into technical requirement. So most of the institutions, most of the people are saying we can create a dashboard. To create this dashboard, we will create a module. To create this module, we will be having this dimensions. But before that, what is your understanding of your requirement? So what we are going to be understanding this requirement, how we are going to be understanding this requirement, how you are going to be converting these requirements into technical requirements. Once this requirements has been converting into technicals, then you need to write a user story. Okay, you need to write a user story. So that's the biggest differences between me and the others. Okay, that is one thing. And the other one is, rather than saying each and every in a textbook manner, I will be giving you for each and every activity, I will be giving you at least 2 real-time scenarios. Okay, I will be giving you at least 2 real-time scenarios. So these 2 real-time scenarios will help you to crack the interview, or these 2 real-time scenarios will help you to better understanding of the concept. Okay, so if you're learning in this way, then no one cannot stops you. So my way of teaching is, so guys, it's not only me. So if you go with anyone, ask the training sequence, that will be, what is this? That is going to be, what is this? Why is this? And how is this? If you have these 3 words in your mind, then any subject, that doesn't matter whether that is Anaplan or OneStream or any other application, doesn't matter. So if someone is teaching you to cover these 3 aspects, then you will become the hero. Trust me. So that's either me or any other people. But I don't think so any other people are covering these 3 since I was in the 4.5 years in this Anaplan. But yeah, so I I don't want to criticize to any other people. So maybe if someone is there, then you can good to go. Either you can approach me or you can approach them. That's up to you. Okay. So your learning sequence should be, so what's this, why is this, and how is this? So keep it in mind, these 3 sentences. And once you are familiar with these 3 planning sequences, then ask them, at least please provide me at least 2 scenarios, scenario-based questions or scenario-based activities. So rather than saying the concept, at least they will be providing you 2 scenarios, 2 real-time scenarios that will be help you to learn more effectively. So that is the major differences between me and the others. Is it okay, guys?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
And this is the course content. So this is going to be your course content. Maybe I will be share with your admin, then admin will share you this course content. Okay. So how you need to create this time and versions? What are the major parts of Anaplan? So how we are going to be modeling approach should be, how we are going to be design module, how we are going to be design the dashboard section. So how we are going to be assign the security features for the Anaplan. Okay, so this is going to be our course content. So learning outcome. So again, there's one more beauty in this. So for each and every session, once completion of the topic, we will be conducting you some mock interviews. So on every Saturday, you guys have a mock interview. So once completion of this mock interview, so we will be provide you. So for this particular week, your learning outcome should be this. So we are going to be keep on tracking your progress in the form of learning outcomes. Okay, once the concept has been completed, then we are going to be conducting the interview and give you the feedback about this particular topic. As this is your learning outcome of this topic, please go through it. So in case if you are good with this topic, then we are giving you the feedback. So in case if you are not doing good, then we will be providing you the fair feedback so that you guys can be improve where you are going to be lagging. Okay. So that is about your learning outcome concepts. So that's it, guys. Any questions do you have?
No, sir. You
No,
understand
sir.
everything.
Okay. So if you don't have any questions, then we can close the session.